You can consider your birth chart your instruction manual for this lifetime. We're diving into the top 50 things that your birth chart can reveal to you. And I bet you didn't know it contains all this information that I'm going to share with you today. So whether you are new to astrology and kind of curious about what your birth chart can tell you, or you've been into astrology for quite some time, my list today is just off the top of my head, but I bet you are going to be surprised how much your birth chart is truly your instruction manual in this lifetime. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Astro family. Today's video is not an astro forecast video. Instead, it is inspired by a few of my recent new clients who inquired about doing a birth chart reading with me, yet they had no idea what their birth chart was or why astrology can help them make sense of their chaos. So I started formulating a list of all the things that your birth chart can tell you. And before I knew it, I had 50 things. And I thought, let's just make a video and talk about it today. So I'm going to kind of rapid fire through all these things. Now, this is just off the top of my head. Your birth chart contains so much more information than what I'm going to share with you today. But I bet you'll be surprised. Even if you understand your birth chart, it is a never-ending study. Our souls are so deep and so complex. If you don't know what a birth chart is, it's essentially a map of the sky at the moment of your birth. In astrology, we consider that the soul is born into a vessel, into a vehicle, what we call our human form. And as it does, we come out as babies and we inhale and take our first breath here on Earth School. And we inhale all the energies of the cosmos at the exact moment where all the stars and all the planets were in the sky. And that in our breath becomes encoded into us and becomes our energetic blueprint of how we're going to navigate Earth School. And not only that, but the second after our first breath, the planets are in constant motion, right? They keep on moving. And where those planets are going to be at any point in your journey here on Earth School, whether it is at 2 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, 70 years old, we know where the planets are going to be and how that is going to impact you and your energy in relationship to that moment in time. And that's what we call in astrology transits, where the planets are here and now and how that is affecting me and my energetic blueprint based on my birth chart differently than you in your energetic blueprint based on your birth chart. I meet a lot of people who have no idea the practical use of astrology. They think of it as some woo-woo practice or maybe science as far as astronomy, but they don't understand that astrology is really this study of energy and how energy becomes our own blueprint. And so as I try to explain to people, astrology can tell you this and it can tell you that, I then start to realize that this needs to be more common knowledge. Whether you know a lot about your birth chart or you're just starting on this journey, I do offer customized 40-page PDF breakdowns of your chart where we go through every single house, every single planet, the current astrology. I mean, it is so in-depth, and that is something you can sign up for and I will put together for you. You can find it in the description box below. Before we dive in, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I'm Mandy Rose. I consider myself the relational astrologer because I have a passion for helping people have better relationships by understanding their birth chart and the current cosmic weather, and therefore they learn how to blend their energies within themselves and the people around them. You will notice that a lot of my content focuses on understanding astrology in an attempt to help you have better relationships. So if you're into that perspective, I would love for you to stick around and become part of the Astro family. So I hope you love this video. Let me know in the comments below if there's any particular topic that I mentioned today that you want a full video on, that you want me to break down and help you understand based on the rising signs, based on the different planetary placements. I'm happy to do that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. 50 things that your birth chart can reveal about you. Number one, your birth chart reveals the hardest lessons you're going to have to learn in this lifetime. That is due to the placement of Saturn. Saturn as an energy is what I consider our tough love dad, and he throws us obstacles and challenges and limitations throughout the course of our life to help us grow, to help us mature, and to help us take responsibility in a certain way. So your birth chart will tell you where you can expect to have the hardest lessons in your life. Number two, your birth chart reveals the energy you need for optimal health. Now that is going to be based on your 6th house and not the zodiac sign that's in your 6th house, but the element of your 6th house. What do I mean by that? Each zodiac sign has a different element: fire, earth, air, or water. And so look at what element is your sixth house placement, and that is going to be the element or the energy that you need to infuse into your life for optimal wellness. For example, I have Aries in the sixth house, which is the element of fire. I need to infuse and add as much fire and warmth into my life, including warm foods, because of my birth chart. So look at the element of your sixth house. That's the element you need to embrace and embody for optimal wellness. Number 3, your birth chart reveals your past life and your default setting. And that is because of your south node. Your south node placement indicates your past and previous lifestyles and the energy in which you have already mastered. So as babies are born here onto Earth School, we are born our south node energy. It's all that our soul already knows. And it truly is kind of our default setting until we grow into our sun sign. And on the flip side, the fourth thing that our birth chart reveals to us is our soul's destiny, our purpose, our mission, what we came here to Earth School to accomplish. Now, this is not something like getting the perfect job or having a successful relationship. It's not a checklist item. It's an energy to embrace and embody. And that energy is where your north node is located in your birth chart. That is the zodiac sign that your soul said, I want to know what that feels like. I want to see and try that on for size. Now, your north node is directly opposite your south node being your default setting, your past tendencies, the things that you're naturally good at. And so your north node directly opposite in the sky is like a foreign land with a foreign language and a culture you don't understand. And so when I usually tell people they're meant to be their north node energy, most of my clients go, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. But that's because it's uncomfortable. Number 5, your birth chart reveals who you're most compatible with, specifically the energy that you will get along with the most when it comes to long-term partnership. And that is based on your 7th house. Now, as a relational astrologer, I do lots of readings that are compatibility focused, and everyone wants to know, are we meant to be together? Now, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. When it comes to all relationships in your life, whether they're romantic, they're business, they're friendships, the energy that you need that relationship to be, not the person's sun sign that's ideal for you, but the energy of the relationship and how you see it is based on your 7th house. And so you need that energy, and that's the best compatibility for you. Now, other little tip and trick is look at the element of that zodiac sign, because you could really mesh well with anyone that has a similar element. So for example, if your 7th house is Aries and Aries is a fire sign, you would mesh well in a relationship that has the energy of Aries or the other fire signs of Leo or Sagittarius. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you want a video breaking that down. I love talking about compatibility in relationships. Number 6, your birth chart reveals when you may possibly meet a soulmate. Yes, that is for real. It is when you go through what we call a Jupiter return. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, blessing, prosperity, luck. And when he comes back to the same exact place he was in the sky on the date of your birth, we call this your Jupiter return. And Jupiter returns indicate or symbolize a time frame where we may meet someone that is very special, that helps us fulfill our soul's purpose. Number 7, your birth chart reveals how you died in a past and previous lifetime, if you believe in that sort of thing. And that is because of your Chiron placement. Now, Chiron is symbolized as a key. I like to think of it as the key to unlocking your soul's true happiness. Chiron represents a wound that we must heal in this lifetime. And that wound is so deep. When I talk about people's Chiron wounds, oftentimes my clients will tear up because it resonates so deep within our souls. And it indicates how we may have died in a previous lifetime. And now our soul comes back into this lifetime scared, crapless that that's going to happen to us again. And so we avoid that thing and avoid that thing. And eventually, if we can heal it and overcome it, it becomes the key to unlocking our soul's true happiness and us making decisions in the future based on what we truly desire and not out of fear. Number 8, your birth chart reveals what you need for safety, security, and comfort. That is based on your moon sign. The moon represents our emotional health, and therefore it indicates what we need for our emotions to feel safe and to feel soothed. Now, when our sense of safety or comfort is taken away from us, then we respond emotionally. We are triggered and we react. So the moon sign is absolutely beautiful when it comes to relationship astrology. The moon sign is what I consider to be the most essential crucial thing to understand about the people around you because it represents their emotions. Number 9, your birth chart reveals the kind of environment that you need to thrive in, specifically when it comes to your home and family life. And that is based on your 4th house. This zodiac sign is the energy that you need to infuse into your spaces, especially when you're in your home, that helps you thrive, that helps you feel alive. Number 10, your birth chart reveals how you're going to grow in this lifetime, how you're going to expand. And that is because of your Jupiter placement. Jupiter is what we consider the wise teacher or the master. And depending on the zodiac sign that he's in, helps you understand how you are going to expand in this lifetime, how you like to gain wisdom and gain knowledge. Number 11, your birth chart reveals the time in your life where it feels like it gets turned completely upside down. That's what we consider our Saturn return. Now, a lot of people have heard of their Saturn return, but don't truly understand it. And essentially, it's when the planet Saturn comes back to the same exact zodiac sign he was on the day of your birth. It is after he has journeyed 30 some years approximately around the sky. And so when we go through a Saturn return, it means that he has taught us lessons in all 12 areas of our life, in all 12 houses. And now it's a time for us to truly level up. I always tell my clients, do not get married before your Saturn return, because after age 28 and a half to 31, you will grow and mature and become a completely different person. And who you are after your Saturn return can be immensely different from the person you were before your Saturn return. Number 12, your birth chart reveals what you like in bed. And yes, we're talking sexy time. We're talking intimacy and vulnerability. That is dependent on your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of intimacy, of vulnerability, and our sex life. And so this is the energy that you need to embody, to feel intimate, to go deep with another person. It truly can show you what your vibe is, what your style is like when it comes to what you like in bed. Number 13, your birth chart reveals where in your life may be most volatile, where you can expect the most disruptions, surprises, unexpected changes that throw you for a curveball. And this is based on your Uranus placement. Uranus as an energy is filled with volatility, filled with change, filled with living outside of societal's norms. It is this shake up, unexpected twist and turn kind of energy. And so wherever he falls in your birth chart on the day of your birth is the area of life where you can have sudden disruptions and want to break free from and rebel a little bit. So it's good to know this in your chart. Number 14, your birth chart reveals how you like to take risks in this lifetime. Everyone has a different risk tolerance level. Some people are so into gambling and so into adrenaline junkie activities, and other people, heck no, they will never take a risk. Now, that is dependent on your 5th house. This is the energy or the vibe or what I consider the lens at which you view risk through. Number 15, your birth chart reveals what you like to think about most. And that is because of your Mercury placement. Mercury is the planet that rules over communication, our thought patterns, how we speak and how we express. I like to consider him the life coach of conversation and helps us have better relationships. And he is going to represent what we like to think about, what we like to learn about, what we like to talk about. Number 16, your birth chart reveals your stamina, your energy levels, your chi, your vitality. And that is because of your Mars placement. We think of Mars as our masculine, and he reflects how we get things done, how we take action, how we make decisions, how we're driving in the left lane through Earth School. Now, some people are more passive and they'll wait for you to tell them what to do and to get off the couch. And other people are your leaders. They're spontaneous. They will jump at the drop of a hat. I think this is truly helpful for us to understand because not all of us are meant to be running around with our pants on fire. So check your Mars placement to see what your stamina and your energy levels are like. Number 17, your birth chart reveals what your spending habits are like or how you view money. This is dependent on your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is the area of life that rules over income, your material possessions, what you value, what you're willing to spend your money on, and how you like to make your money. I think this is really interesting when I do compatibility readings between two people is because one partner may be very frugal and the other person is very impulsive. And this can be a huge contention between the couple in the relationship. But when they understand each other's 2nd house energy, they see their partner in a different light. They see the lens at which their partner views their money, their income, and their material possessions through. So this is really cool to know about your birth chart, especially if you're in a relationship. Number 18, your birth chart reveals the body part that you have the most challenges with and where you need to shine a little extra love, energy, and attention on to keep it vital. Most people know their sun sign, but they didn't know that their sun sign matters when it comes to their physical body. The sun, when you go outside, you can feel the heat, the life, the vitality of the sun radiating on your skin. And that sun, when we take our first breath and come to Earth School, inhales into our physical vessel and becomes the light at which we shine out into the world. Each sun sign rules over a specific part of the body. And that part of the body, based on your sun sign, is the part of your physical body that you need to shine a little bit of extra light and love onto. I'll give you an example. I am a Virgo sun, and most Virgos have gut health issues because Virgo rules the digestive system. And so for me, in this lifetime, I have to shine a little extra sun, a little extra energy, extra little heat and vitality and life onto my digestive tract, making sure it stays well and vital. So this could be a really cool topic for another video. Let me know if that would interest you. Put in the comments below you want to know more about number 18. Number 19, your birth chart reveals how you process your emotions. And this is based on the element of your moon. The moon, like I mentioned, is the most important energy to understand around compatibility because it represents what we need for safety, security, and comfort, but it's also going to tell you how that person is going to feel their emotions. Now we have fire moons, water moons, earth moons, and air moons. And this is how I like to give the example of how all 4 different energies can play out. Let's say your neighbor parks in front of your driveway all the time. A fire moon is going to be hot, heated, and angry. They're going to go knock on the door. They're going to scream. They're going to yell. You got a fire moon in your life? Let them kick and scream. Let them be hot-headed. Let them burn it out. Don't take it personal. It's how they're feeling their emotions. A water moon, they're just going to start crying. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this happened again. I can't believe it. I'm going to be late for work. And they're going to cry or become a hermit or feel very, very sensitive. Let them feel their feelings. They feel them instantly. An air moon, now they're your ruminators. They think. Air is the mind. And so before they can feel any emotions, they process, they think, they ruminate, they analyze, they make up details and stories and facts that the neighbor's been parking there every week for how many days. And then this is why, and they don't care about us. And they're so rude. They're making up details and stories that probably don't even exist. Now your earth moons, those are very emotionally intelligent. They are practical, they are rational, they got a time and space to feel their emotions, and they probably got a calendar date picked out for when they can have their breakdown. Now they're the ones where the neighbor parks in front of their driveway and they rationalize it like, oh, that's right, they have a kid, they probably got home late, they didn't have anywhere else to park, I totally get it, I'll go talk to them later today. They schedule their emotional breakdown. So this is another thing our birth chart reveals that I think is very important to understand when it comes to relationships. Number 20, your birth chart reveals your energy for the upcoming year based on your birthday. And what do I mean by this? Well, we call this your solar return chart. Every single year we wish someone happy birthday, but your birthday actually falls on the day that the sun returns to the exact same place in the sky that it was on the day of your birth. And fun fact, your solar return is not always on the exact same calendar day that it was on the day of your birth. So for instance, I'm born on August 31st, but some years my solar return, the day that the sun is at the exact same degree it was in my birth chart on the day that I was born, can happen on August 30th, September 1st, sometimes even September 2nd. And that indicates for the upcoming year, the energy that I need to embrace and embody, the areas of life that I may need to focus on, where I might have some upcoming lessons. And it kind of reflects the next 365 days of the sun journeying around the sky and how that could impact you and how to move through each year, year by year. Really cool thing, and I love doing solar return readings. So if you want to gift yourself something special on your birthday, that is something you could book and treat yourself with. Number 21, your birth chart reveals the best way for you to stay healthy. And this is dependent on the zodiac sign of your 6th house. This is the energy, the vitality that you need for optimal wellness. Now, I'm also a holistic health coach, so I actually use this a lot in my practice to help clients figure out what they need to do for optimal vitality. Your 6th house is the energy that you need to embrace and embody when you need to feel well. And so it could indicate things like the types of food you should eat, the type of activities that you may like to do, how you like to balance your day, how you like to go about your routines. The 6th house is your health and wellness house, and it can really, truly indicate what you need, and the energy to embody to stay well. Number 22, your birth chart reveals how other people see you. And this is dependent on your first house, or what we consider our rising sign. Our rising sign is the energy we give off on first impression. Before people really get to know us, they feel this energy off of us. A lot of astrology says this is the mask we wear for the world. I think that does not do it any justice. I call it the vehicle you're driving around Earth School in. And so do you show up to a party in a Jeep, in a convertible, on a motorcycle? That's the vibe. It tells you about yourself. And so this is our rising sign. Now, we may not actually identify with our rising sign because we don't see it. We're just giving that off. Now, think of it this way. If you are driving around in your car, you know what the color of your car is, right? You know your rising sign. But when you're in the car driving down the freeway, you don't see the color of your car. All you know is the perception that the color of your car gives off when other people see you driving down the road. Our rising sign is exactly like that. Number 23, your birth chart reveals your communication style. This is based on your Mercury placement. Mercury indicates how we express and how we speak, the tone and language that we use, and the zodiac energy that he's in is the energy in which we communicate and express, and how we like to share information with people. Number 24, your birth chart reveals what you want to be known for in this lifetime. You're going to look at your 10th house. The 10th house symbolizes our purpose, our legacy, our career, how we are known in this world. And so to embrace and embody that zodiac energy is what your soul desires to be seen as. Number 25, we are halfway there. Your birth chart reveals what you value, what you find beautiful, what you find pleasurable, and what you prioritize in your life. Now, this is a blend between your Venus placement and your second house. And so this shows us what you find important, what you find pleasurable, where you find beauty, and what you're willing to spend your money, your time, your attention, and your resources on. And so this is a little bit more complex, but we can definitely see what you prioritize in this lifetime. Number 26, your birth chart reveals what motivates you. This is based on your Mars sign. What gets you off the couch? What drives you forward? Remember, Mars is the masculine, and the masculine wants to do things. And so by looking at your Mars placement, your Mars energy, we can see what is going to help you make a decision, help you move forward in your life, how you're going to accomplish your goals. It is what is going to kick you in the pants to get going and fight for what you want. Number 27, your birth chart reveals the type of friendships that are best for you. This is based on your 11th house energy. These are the types of people you may want to be around, whether it's their sun sign, they have a lot of placements in this energy, or it's the type of energy that you need within your friendship group. Now, this could also be applicable to your social acquaintances, your networking groups, the people that you like to be around. So looking at the 11th house is the style or the energy or the lens or the vibe in which you need when it comes to your friendships. Number 28, your birth chart reveals where you take things to the extreme. This is based on your Jupiter placement. What house Jupiter falls in for you can indicate the areas of life where you may go into excess. We think of Jupiter as the great expander. He is very much influenced by peer pressure, and wherever he shows up in our chart and whatever influence he has is going to show us where we may be a little compulsive, be a little obsessive, where we want to do things over and over again and can really take things to extremes. Number 29, your birth chart reveals your learning style or how you process information. This is based on your Mercury placement. And I like to think of our Mercury as our processing software system. I can say the same thing about astrology to 100 different people, and each person is going to process the information in a different way. They're going to download it in a different way. Now, I find this very interesting when I do readings for parents for their children, because they can understand how their children learn best, what type of schooling they need to be in, whether it's Montessori, hands-on learning, they do well in traditional schooling. Each one of us learns a different way, and that can be shown in our chart. Number 30, our birth chart reveals our love language. Now, most people know the love language quiz, and I find it so interesting that oftentimes their answers on the love language quiz correlates directly with their Venus placement. Now, Venus is our feminine energy, where Mars is the masculine, Venus is the feminine. It's how we like to receive, it's how we love, it's how we want to be loved by others, it's how we attract attention and resources to us. Number 31, our birth chart reveals our fears and our insecurities that we have to overcome in this life lifetime. That is based on our Saturn placement. Now remember, Saturn is our tough love dad, and he's going to throw us challenges and obstacles and things that we have to grow and mature in. And so it can indicate where in our life we are scared to take risks or to overcome things, what we are fearful of, what we may feel is one of our weaknesses. So this is a very important thing to know about ourselves. Number 32, your birth chart reveals the area of life where you may be a little more lucky. This is dependent on your Jupiter placement. Remember, Jupiter is the planet of expansion and luck and blessing and prosperity. And so whatever house he falls in our chart can indicate the area of life where over the course of our lifetime, we have a little bit more ease. Things kind of just seem to go our way. That's kind of in flow. Now, this doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, because depending on the current astrology and the transits that are influencing and interacting with your Jupiter placement, with your natal energy, when planets in the sky come to visit that house for you, then you may get a challenge, a growth opportunity. But generally, over the course of your life, where your Jupiter falls may be the area of life where you just have a little bit more luck. Number 33, your birth chart reveals your romance style, what you like when it comes to dating people. This is based often on your 5th house energy. Now, each person, when they fall in love and they go on dates and they love the romance of getting to know someone, that looks different for everyone. Now, I find this to be so interesting if someone does a reading just as they're meeting someone and starting to date someone, because as soon as they tell me their rising sign, I know the energy in that person's 5th house, and that's how they want to be romanced. That's the type of dates that they want to go on. That's the energy they need to fall in love. Whereas the 7th house is the energy they need to stay in love, the energy they need for long-term partnership. Number 34, your birth chart reveals your wounds, the things that are very painful in this lifetime. This goes back to your Chiron, what you will avoid at all costs, what will trigger you, what feels painful, your ouch moments. You're going to look at where Chiron is placed in your birth chart. What house is going to symbolize where those wounds may come up. In that area, when you are engaging in those kind of things, you may feel the pain come up of what you need to heal from a past life because of Chiron. Number 35, your birth chart reveals your fighting style, what you will go down fighting for, how you will fight for it. And I find this to be so interesting when it comes to relationship readings, because usually this nails it. When a partner is triggered and their emotions come out, their moon sign, they will then respond with their Mars sign, how they will fight and what they'll go down fighting for. And so usually we see this elementally. So whether someone has a fire Mars, they're going to roar, they're going to fight really aggressively. They may have a water's Mars, so they're more passive aggressive, but Mars can really indicate how someone will go after what they want and how their inner warrior will show up. Number 36, your birth chart reveals your life lessons, what you really have to learn and master. This goes back to your North Node. We consider your North Node your North Star. It's where your focus, energy, and attention should be on, drawing you towards that energy. And those zodiac signs in the area of life your North Node falls is where your lessons are, where you are learning as a soul to grow and evolve and get out of your comfort zone and to accomplish more things in your evolution of the journey of your soul. Number 37, your birth chart reveals your belief systems, your philosophy, your views on life. This we can find based on your 9th house zodiac energy, because the 9th house rules our higher conscious mind. It's how we see the world. It's the wisdom that we gain, the way in which we want to explore the world around us. So when you look at the 9th house of someone, it helps you see the lens at which they're looking at life through and what they need to gain more wisdom. Number 38, your birth chart reveals your missing and master element. What does this mean? Well, we do a calculation to see in what element is the majority of your planets placed and what's the missing element. So for example, a client of mine may have 5 planets in a fire sign, 3 planets in a water sign, 1 planet in an air sign, and no planets in an earth sign. So their master element is going to be fire. That means they have so much fire in their soul, in their natal energy, and they really embody that. But their missing element is earth, because they have no planetary placements in earth signs. And so what they need to do to be well balanced is to incorporate and infuse more earth energy into their soul from the external world. So they need to maybe eat more foods that come from the earth, like root vegetables and hearty meats, things that make them feel full. They may need to go outside more often and hug a tree and lay in the grass. Now, this is not something that's easily calculated because for me personally, when I do readings and I'm looking at someone's master and missing elements, I have a point system that I've created. And so this is something I calculate for my clients, but you could do a rough guesstimate by looking at your planetary placements, see what your missing and master elements are. Number 39, your birth chart reveals how you need to nurture and nourish your physical body. Now we're going to look at a combination of things for this. We're going to look at the first house, which again is our rising sign. It's our physical vessel that our soul embodies into, and our sixth house, which is the energy we need for wellness. We're going to look a little bit at your Mars placement, but by doing a couple different things, we can really see what your body needs. For example, when it comes to physical exercise, are you someone that needs to move your body every single day? There's so many different things in your chart that correlates to your physical well-being that there's an entire branch of astrology called medical astrology where you really can dive into your health, wellness, and vitality. Number 40, your birth chart can reveal what area of life is closely connected and tied to your emotional health. Look at the house of your moon placement. This is going to indicate what area of life may throw you out of whack when it comes to your emotion. So for example, if someone has their moon in the sixth house, the health house, their emotional health and their physical health are very closely related. So if they are going through a lot of emotional things like grief or sadness, it's going to bring down their physical well-being. Or if they're not nourishing their physical body and exercising and taking their supplements, it's going to have an effect on their emotional well-being. So look at the house for your moon sign. That is the area of life that can throw your emotions out of whack. Number 41, your birth chart can reveal how you make income best. You want to look at your second house. This is an indicator of how you can pull in resources, how you can attract and how you can receive money, assets, wealth, material possessions. This is a beautiful placement for me to understand when someone is struggling to make money, to find the perfect career for them in business through entrepreneurship. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and helping them build their brand or their business. We like to look at the second house energy. Number 42, your birth chart reveals the area of life you're meant to focus more attention on in this lifetime. And this is the house of your north node. Your north node, again, remember, is your North Star, and where it falls in the area of life is the area of life that you have to North Star to have your eyes on the prize and focus on that area of life to accomplish your soul's mission. So tell me in the comments below, where does your north node fall? What house? And let me know if that correlates to you. Are you spending enough time on that area of life, or do you need to up your game? Number 43, your birth chart reveals the best place for you to live. This is one of my favorite topics of astrology, and we call it astrocartography. This is where we take your birth chart and calculate it over the map of the world. And we can look to see where in the world you may experience and feel different energies, learn different lessons, where you may want to live if you want to find a relationship or start a business. Astrocartography is deep, it's complex, it's very, very interesting. It's a very fun experiment to go travel somewhere, look up your astrocartography lines in that area, and then reflect back with some anecdotal evidence of how you felt when you went to go visit those places. Number 44, your birth chart reveals how you like to have fun. We go back to the fifth house, I call it the fun house, and it shows us the energy that you need when it comes to fun, games, entertainment, your creative projects, your passion projects. What are the things you like to do out of pure joy, out of pure happiness that nourish your inner child? And I tell people when they're struggling in life, go to your fifth house energy. Go embody and embrace that zodiac sign because your soul signed up to have fun in that way. Number 45, your birth chart reveals what you're attracted to. You want to go to the seventh house. The seventh house, again, is long-term partnerships, marriage, and it's the energy that you desire in another person, that you desire to balance you out. Number 46, your birth chart reveals your style or how you like to dress. Now, this again gets a little complex. We're looking at things like your Venus placement, your first house, and a few other things in your chart, but that can really indicate your optimal style, how you might receive attention, how you want to be seen and viewed by others. And this is absolutely beautiful when it comes to people creating a brand or a business, an identity that they're creating, an avatar, a social media profile. Number 47, your birth chart reveals what body part may cause you some illness. This is different from the 6th house. Now we're looking at the 8th house and the zodiac sign that rules your 8th house. And the body part that rules that zodiac sign may be your weak spot, your challenge area that can lead to your demise, that can create some illness. And this isn't here to scare anyone, but it's just to be aware. Number 48, your birth chart reveals the best time for you to get married. This goes on current transit. So what's going on in the current astrology and how it's impacting you and the chart of your partner. But things I like to look for are usually retrogrades. Like nobody wants to get married during a Venus retrograde. That would not be ideal. Mercury retrograde, planetary placements that may be challenging aspects like a Mars-Saturn conjunction, and many other different factors. Now, if you're planning on getting married anytime soon, just remember the moment that you say yes creates its own birth chart. And that birth chart represents the beginning of that marriage. Everything that has a beginning, whether it's the creation of a company, your marriage, the birth of your child or your pet, everything has a birth chart. And you want that birth chart of your marriage to be as beautiful as possible. So definitely book a session when you're looking at when is the best optimal time for you to get married. Number 49 is something most of my clients want to know during readings, and that is their birth chart revealing when they may have financially prosperous times. Now for this, we are looking at Jupiter and we are looking at the areas of life like the 10th house, the 2nd house. The 2nd house is our money house. The 10th house is our career house. And when Jupiter returns to each of these areas of our life, he can expand, grow, bring blessing, prosperity, and luck to our money, our career, or our work life. And number 50, your birth chart reveals when your life may fall apart. This is something that actually got me into astrology many, many years ago because my life was crumbling. I needed to make sense of the chaos. And this is a time that is based on the eclipses. When we think of the eclipses, we are thinking of things being eclipsed in and out of our life. It is like our soul has already signed up for things to be taken away from us or added to our life to keep us on track with our soul's mission, with our soul's purpose. And these can be times in our life when we feel like our hands are off the wheel and things are just happening around us. External circumstances are literally throwing curveballs at us, and we're meant to just move through it with grace and patience and understanding. And so eclipses can be very volatile times in our life. They can really rearrange our life to put it back in a way that makes the puzzle pieces look even more beautiful. And it's something I focus a lot on in my readings because it truly does help you make sense of your chaos. Now that we've made it through all 50 things, remember, I really could go on and on. There is so much more that your birth chart can reveal about you. Let me know in the comments below if you were surprised with any of these things. Again, which ones you may want to know a little bit more about. I can make a video on them. And then don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when I make that video go live. I do have to give you a little caveat that your birth chart is so unique. There are so many nuances to it. So things that I mentioned today may have a lot more depth to it depending on your chart. Sometimes it's not just as simple as saying, oh, your 6th house has this energy and therefore you need to do this, this, and that. It depends on the planets there. It depends on if you're a night chart or a day chart and so many other factors. So the best thing that you really can do is do an individual reading, but this gives you a really good overview and perspective of what your birth chart can even tell you, what it can reveal. It is truly our instruction manual in this lifetime. It is an underestimated resource, a tool in our toolkit that can really help us. I definitely hope you got that vibe and that message today. If you're new to the Astro family, I hope you stick around and hang out with us. I have some really cool, fun things going on behind the scenes when it comes to relationships and astrology, putting out podcast episodes, breaking down each relationship in your life and how you can have the best relationship with that person, and so much more. So thank you guys again so much. Now go grab your birth chart, go dive in, and I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will catch you in the next video.